shit at the
He
pilot.
stepped up his head.
Niggas be broken, be sober, but still talking shit like
And
they
he
got it.
fumbles the football and
They say
the
that
Eagles
they
have
got
it.
some money, these niggas gon' say that they got it.
Oh my God.
Get
Deep
out
to
with the
right
kid is
field.
success and these niggas gon' blame it on talent. They don't wanna see you win. They don't wanna see the race. You don't wanna see a bitch caught up in the stars like she out of space. Mention that they kinda at the mention and I'm running out of space.
Here we go, back again with episode 18 of the City of Brotherly Love Sportscast. Your normal co-host Dylan and Blake. If you haven't yet, hit them likes, them subscriptions. We're falling off a little bit, but we see the faithful people that listen every single week. We do this for you guys. We don't really care about the followers too much. We just do this because we love talking about sports. Just don't miss an episode again and subscribe. Right now we're enjoying a very good Phillies start followed by a abysmal series, getting swept. Well, now technically I guess getting swept by the Mets because the game got canceled today. And then you were enjoying a first-place Sixers team that just beat like the injury-plagued Nets last night. We're not going to talk much about the Flyers and the Eagles today, but we'll mention a few things about them, just little things about like a debut and kind of what the Eagles are going to do at pick 12. But first, we're going to start with the Sixers because last night they did beat the Nets. They ended up winning by 8 points, I believe, but they were up by 24 at one point. They currently hold the 1 seed now by 1 full game, and they hold the tiebreaker. So to me, it's like a game and a half pretty much on the Nets. Joel's playing out of his mind. So basically the first thing that I kind of want to talk about, I kind of want to bring up is like you were talking about, we haven't played all 3 of their stars together. So do you think, obviously they're going to be better, but do you think we match up against them when all 3 are there? Now losing Aldridge as well. Like, how do you think that series would play out as a potential Eastern Conference Finals matchup?
Yeah, see, I mean, with home court, it's huge. You have a defender like Ben. I mean, I love Ben. He can be Defensive Player of the Year, but I don't like. Well, he ain't slowing down KD. And even if you do say he's slowing him down, like, what's slowing this man down? I mean, I don't know if like 20 points maybe, like you said, but it might be like an efficient 20. Dude could go like 8 for 10, couple of free throws, and like that's all he could take all game. Doesn't mean we can't beat them in general though, because their defense is still but I still think they're the team to beat, and it's us and them in the Eastern Conference Finals, no doubt. I don't think the Bucks are anything to worry about still. I mean, the first seed should just be ours. I think like come May, like May 2nd to May 11th, someone was talking about today, like their schedule's kind of hard. They got the Bucks twice. I think they got the Bulls. I know the Bulls aren't great, but they got the Bulls.
They're going to be fighting for a spot at that point.
They got the Mavericks, who I'm pretty sure, I don't know if they're in playoffs, but they're hanging right down there, I think, around there where they're like fighting for a playoff spot or got to stay in like that 7 seed or whatever they're in. Yeah. So they're going to be playing some like tough teams that are going to give them a run for their money, whereas our schedule's like, I think, harder now, but it's like a cakewalk for like the last 11 games for the most part. Like, should just be able to coast right through and take the first seed, which is huge because then we avoid the Bucks, like we were saying before we started, and just have to play one of those 2. Mm-hmm. Most likely the Nets, unless God forbid, like KD gets hurt, they probably won't be in the what's it called, Eastern Conference Finals. But I don't know, dude. They're a good team. I'm mad. Like, people were like, yeah, it's a free win last night. Obviously, it's a free win, but the game doesn't tell me much until we play their whole team healthy.
Mm-hmm. Which now we probably won't have a chance to until the Eastern Conference Finals.
And clearly they don't care. They're, like, arrogant. Like, I mean, like, all day on sports talking shit. Or people are like, oh, I hate them. I don't like them either, but I don't give a shit if they're arrogant, whatever. That's what happens when you got a team full of superstars. Everybody's cocky superstars.
Yeah, I'd be arrogant too.
Man, you got 2 of the best scorers on your team and another dude who's cold-blooded. Like, mm-hmm. So, I mean, at the same time, I get it, but they literally played the catless Timberwolves and played all their starters except, I guess, Harden, and then rest KD, rest Blake Griffin, I guess technically Aldridge at the time, and just Kyrie. That's it. Kyrie plays us, and that's it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like right now, God willing, there's nobody in this league. Everybody knows that's going to stop Joel Embiid, even on that team. So even then, that whole series, like you said, there's no Ben may slow KD down to an efficient 20 points. Harden drops 20. Kyrie drops 15 and 15 or something. Like there's still Joel's still going to get his 30 to 40 points every game in a playoff series against them, no matter what.
I think he probably averaged like 35 for a playoff series against them.
Yeah.
And now this is what I think. I'm a little negative. I'm not negative. I said I picked Nets in the beginning of the year when we first started this back in December, and I still been rocking with it because they got even way better. But doesn't mean they're going to the finals. You know, we're allowed to be wrong. I think we're the only team that can take them and match up good against them, kind of. Mm-hmm. But there's always that X factor for us, and that is Ben Simmons. And we got to see Toby do it in playoffs, but Toby's going to do it this year in playoffs. I think before it was Brett using him wrong. He's used right, unless he's just like a playoff thing and he just completely goes cold. But even in the regular season, he was like irrelevant last year for the most part. So and it's been that way since he's been here. Up until like this year, he's really found a right fit, and he's been good. Gets his shot, gets to the good areas, scores the ball. So I think Toby's going to give us what we need from him. And Embiid's obviously going to give us what we need from him, and then you need Danny and Seth to pick it up and be consistent.
Danny and Seth need to be very consistent in a series.
But then it's Ben's X factor. Like he was apparently good last night, pretty good. He was 17 and got to the free throw line like 10 times or something, or 8 times. That's what you need to do, dude. That's what you literally need to do. Give me 17 for an entire playoff series. I'm not going to be mad.
Yeah,
that's what he needs to do though. He can't be like this Ben that goes disappearing for 5 to 10 games, averaging 12 points, or like what he was doing in the beginning of the season, averaging 12 points. Like, no, we're in playoffs. He does it in playoffs so far since he's been in playoffs. So I know what he brings everywhere else, but he needs to be better. He needs to be better.
I completely agree. But like as of right now, our bench also definitely overweighs their bench. Like Furkan spoke out this past week talking about how he finally found his spot on this team on the bench. I saw something. Dude's averaging like in the last 10 games, he's like 14.5 points in the last 10 games off the bench. I will take that when you have also get games from Shake dropping 20 points off the bench every third or every second game as well. So you got guys like that, and then you still got Thibault coming off the bench. I think depending on a series against the Nets, they might change the lineup a little bit. I don't know how much they would change. Danny and Seth would probably still start, but Thibault would probably get just as much playing time as those guys in a series against them. Just strictly because of the defense, and especially if someone like Kyrie's going off for 30 points, he's going to throw Matisse on him just to see. But like you said, they're going to get their points. That first seed, that's why that first seed's most important. We're fucking 22-4, 22-5 at home this season, and that was even before fans were even started to come into the stadium. So
yeah, it's up there now. It's like probably like 50 and single digits, under 10. I don't know exactly what. Read one off before
in the last 2 years or something. Yeah,
it was like, well, I think it was just between this year and last year. It was like earlier. I read it on a pod, like off our pod. It was like I don't know how many episodes ago, but at that time they were like 44-4 or something. It was like for every 10 games they were winning, they were only losing 1 or something like that. And that's pretty much, they're probably still on that pace or somewhere like around that or a little less. But
yeah,
that's why it's important, especially if fans are starting to get back. Everybody's getting vaccinated. It's going to be huge. The Wells is crazy for the playoffs. And
they're going to try and push those numbers up for the playoff games for sure. Tickets might be off, but
get some money because their ratings and shit all been down this year. So
yeah, for sure.
Especially even for a game like last night, ratings were down.
So obviously the 1 seed is the most important thing through all of this, for sure. As of right now, I think it looks like we would get like Boston or the Knicks in the first round, and then you'd get like a Heat or a Charlotte in the second round, as long as you're the 1 seed. Instead of like getting like a Bucks in the second round and then the Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals. So hopefully they keep it up. definitely need to stay rolling the way they're rolling. Even get that chemistry even better now that everyone's healthy. Play more games together. I think there's 14 games left of the season or 13 games, something like that. It's not that many. I think it's in the teens now. So get ready for that, and hopefully make a good playoff run this year.
Just had something else to say, but I fucking forget. I don't remember. It's crazy. I forget.
It's crazy.
There's something you were talking about, and I don't know if I was gonna counter it or something. I forget what I was gonna say, but it doesn't matter now. I forget it completely. Yeah, I don't know.
Clueless out here. So then
forget, dude.
I know. Yeah. So then the other big topic
blanks
that we wanted to talk about today was the Phillies. So the Phillies started the season off by sweeping the Braves and winning 2 from the Mets, going 5-1 to start the season. Now, since then, they're 1-5 after losing 2 of 3 to the Braves, and now technically losing a 3-game series, getting swept by the Mets. Thankfully, didn't have to see DeGrom today. That's pretty big. So my biggest thing is this team cannot fucking hit right now. They can't hit a fucking I don't know. If there's a beach ball thrown at them, they probably would miss it.
They're striking out a lot too. Like
14 times.
you just let bum ass what's his name, David Peterson or whatever. I don't even fucking know. The lefty that we just faced. He struck us out 10 times. Like, come on, dude. You're letting that bum throw 10 Ks against you. Yeah, against the lineup that's full of righties for the most part. Yeah. And then I don't know if it's true. Tommy Paxton told me this, boy Tom. He said Girardi wanted to give Didi a day off mentally because I guess his glove hasn't been there, so he felt like he wanted to give him the day off to start who at shortstop. Literally, his name's Who. Yeah, his name is Who. He sucks. He's poop. They don't even know him. That's how you know he's bad. Like, come on. When he's probably your best hitter in the lineup right now. He's batting like right under 300, and you took him out of the lineup when you needed a win. You needed at least one win this series, and you took him out of the lineup. Come on, dude.
Knowing that DeGrom's coming up next game too, either.
Come on, man. Embarrassing. It was a pitiful series. I hate that team. I hate everything about them. I loathe them. I literally can't stand that team so much. The first loss was horrible too, and extras. That was brutal. That was like the only game we sort of had the bats going, and then did we get shut out in the doubleheader that night? I think we did. We got shut out.
Yeah, got shut out in the last game 4-0.
And that was bad. You're just making Marcus Stroman look like an ace. He's good. He's a good pitcher. Time. You got pitcher, but you're making him look like a fucking ace. You're making him look like a Cy Young. Like, come on, dude. They're making everybody look like a Cy Young right now.
Well, our biggest thing is our starting pitchers are getting beat up in the first inning every game. And then they go on a roll and they pitch like 4 or 5 solid innings. But they're so high in the pitch count, like Zach Wheeler yesterday threw 25 pitches in the first inning. But then he goes and throws 5 solid innings, but he can't go further than 5 or 6 because he's already at 102 pitches. So it's those first innings. I don't know. They're just coming out slow, real slow, and they just by the time the bats get going, it's the 8th inning.
And even like Nola, like he had I'd say a better start, and then he's like, this is why I just don't think he's like an ace, because you can't be throwing 92 miles per hour and having slip ups or throwing meatballs at times. Like, he's not like Nicky Meatballs, who's actually doing good up in Boston, but he just like, he has like a couple slip ups and he starts to, I'm not gonna say like loses control, because he usually paves the corners pretty nice, but then he's like, his placement is just off by like the 5th inning. It's weird. And I always say this though, he starts bad and then he usually gets better, but that's just because I think it's like cold now, or the weather's like
It's his time.
He's a warm weather pitcher. He's literally that's never like that. That's why I got to see this man in playoffs, because when it's like October and it's starting to get chilly, I mean, you might get nice weather if you're lucky, but it's hitting like 50, 40 degree nights and it's windy, dude. He's going to be brutal probably. His cold weather stats are alarming. it's crazy. He's I like him. He's a good pitcher, but Philly fans been trying to tell me he's an ace for 4 to 5 years now. He's not an ace. He's good. He's had one really great year, but since then he's been just kind of like a arguably top 10, definitely top 15 pitcher in the league.
I just think that word ace needs to get like a more definitive definition to it. You know what I mean? Because he's not. I'm not going to say he is an ace, because I don't think he is an ace either. I think there's only like I said last week, I think there's only like 5 aces, maybe more than 5 now, but there's like 10 aces in the MLB.
Yes.
But
there's some guys.
he's close, and he could be an ace if his things worked. And Wheeler, I think, is in the same spot he is, because I think Wheeler could be an ace if his things worked and he knew how to when Wheeler has a bad night, he's got a really bad night, and he can't hit his spot at all.
And that's what I was about to say too about Wheeler. If you look, I don't know about in the COVID year because it's different, but every year since whenever, I forget what year since, but in like recent memory, the past couple, he's not good the first half of the year. He's like decent. And then the second half of the year, he's posting Cy Young numbers. Like, you're talking about like a 1-point-something ERA, going 7 innings pitched on average, striking everybody out, dude. It's like, where's that all year? Maybe you need a couple games to settle in. That's fine, dude. But it might be too late by then. You need to win games now. Winning games in the second half is important, of course. And, yeah, it's early on in the year. Thank God the Nationals are, like, struggling. The Mets' bats are still bad. Like, I don't know how he lost that team. Their bats are horrible.
The Braves are struggling.
The Braves, their pitching
almost got swept today.
Their pitching's brutal.
Yeah.
Because Acuna just hit his 7th bomb today. Dude's on fire. Freddie Freeman's coming alive. He's on fire. Ozzie Albies is like, I don't like Albies as much as other people like him personally. I think he's hyped up personally.
He's just an average hitter.
They have Azuna. He's coming around too. He's a beast. And then Swanson he's all right. He
hit the walk off today.
No, I know. I like him. I just don't think his bat is as good as it could be. But their bats are good, but their pitching's very, very suspect. Yeah,
and the Marlins are a good young team. Not this year, but this division is going to be very good for years to come, and it's deep. This division is deep. The Nationals, I think, we already talked about this. I think the Nationals I think they'll be 4th or 5th place this year. They're just going to fall off. They just don't. It's weird. They have the team, but it's just like they don't come together.
I kind of think like they have a good team. Like they have Trey Turner. They have Soto. But you lost Rendon. Like, I don't know. Did they not even want to pay Rendon? Like, they're so cheap with their money, dude. Like, what's going to happen when you have to offer Soto a $300 million contract? You're not going to fucking pay him, too? Or is he going to take a lifetime deal, getting paid $1 a day until he's fucking 90? You know what I mean? That's what they wanted to do with Bryce. They're cheap. They're cheap fucks. And, yeah, they got one World Series, and not going to lie, they draft good. They have good – I don't know where it comes from. They have good scouts, I guess. They find good talent. But, I don't see them – I mean, I don't know what Corbin's going to do today, but I saw he got rocked so far. Yeah. He's been rocked. He's like a 12 ERA. Strasburg, he had an unreal World Series, but he's always been, like, kind of decent in the regular season. Yeah, he's injury prone, and he's, like, a good number 2. Like, he's not – as good as he could be. I think he could be. I think he could have been great. I think
as good as he should have been. His hype that was behind him.
And then to be honest, pitchers can last a while, and Scherzer still gasses, and he still has good stuff. But he's 36.
Yeah, he's getting there.
He's 36. So I mean, I think we're better than them. Our road records pooped too the last 2 years, but I like us to at least finish top 3, and I think we should finish over the Mets. I think the Mets got a great pitching staff. Don't get me wrong, but their bats suck. Their bats might come along. Now you got like Nemo batting like 300 something right now.
That won't happen all year.
Yeah, that won't happen all year. But if he gets walks though, so he must be a good leadoff man. Yeah. And then like Lindor he'll come around. Or should. I hope he doesn't. Honestly, I give 2 shits what that dude does. Obviously, and then Pete Alonso is going to drop bombs, but he's batting like 212 right now. Like their whole lineup's struggling, dude. I don't know what it is. Their lineups, like I guess, like what our lineups doing right
Just an
now.
average. They could be really good, but they just don't show up sometimes. Like guys like Dom Smith on their team and Conforto.
Yeah,
Those guys are just so inconsistent that their lineup's never going to be great, especially to hold their pitching up like DeGrom throwing a fucking 1 ERA, but he's 0-2,
yeah, crazy.
Unbelievable. That's like for fifth year straight. Dude could win 3 straight Cy Youngs and not have one winning season.
I think he won. Yeah, I was about to say he won the Cy Young. I don't know if it was with a losing season, but they said like 8 or 9 wins or something in 1 year.
Yeah.
But someone read a stat off on 97.5 that like how he's 0-2. He pitches like a lot of games, like keeps him in it, and then the second he gets pulled, like, or like even if it is like 1 run, like they end up losing. Like they lose a lot of games when he pitches. It's crazy. Like not as many as they should win. It's dumbfounding that they're just wasting that great of a talent. He's one guy I actually don't. He's actually one guy I don't hate on the Mets. I don't like him, obviously,
but
you
gotta respect him.
Yeah, I respect him. Like I'd obviously take him on my team, but never would happen.
It's just one of those players that you gotta just like when I went to the game and that's who pitched the night. I was like, you could just watch greatness because it's rare that you get to watch players like that in person live, like so you just gotta enjoy it.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know, but the Phils, they need to figure it out. They called up Mickey Moniak. I guess it's kind of a blessing in disguise because this kid was going to come up and have to face the best pitcher in the league already. And then, so it's a blessing because now we're going to go on to St. Louis. St. Louis's pitching's okay. They got good bats, pretty good bats at least. But I don't think they've been anything special this year, honestly. I think they've been like kind of rocky for a team that looks like they could be good, but we should be able to take 2 or 3 of them, in my opinion, but you never know. And then I think we got like Milwaukee. Milwaukee's bats are god awful. They got some decent pitching. People think their pitching's poop, but I think they got good pitching, actually. Dude, Corbin Burns is on fire. Woodruff, he's all right. Hader's a beast. So
Corbin Burns has the first 30 innings pitched of the season has 0 walks. Or 30 strikeouts and 0 walks in his first 3 games.
Yeah, that's what it crazy. Yeah, dude. I mean, they got to figure it out, and hopefully Moniak pans out. If not, I guess they're going to be shopping for a center fielder. I heard that's already a rumor that we're going to be looking for one, and they might need to look for another arm. Like I know Chase Anderson settled in after that first inning, but. And, my pops loves him. My dad, he tells me all the time. He's like, he's like, I know he has good stuff. He said he just pitches backwards. Like stuff he should be throwing. He's not throwing. Like we were talking about it with like his first 2 at bats. He was like, he lets the homer up and he's like, why wouldn't you be throwing this to this guy? And now you just let that up. Like it's weird.
Well, that's like the White Sox no-hitter last night. Dude is at 110 pitches is throwing 98-mile-per-hour fastball by people, and then he's got the perfect game, and he's got 1 out in the bottom of the or top of the 9th, and he throws a shitty slider, which it cut good. It was a good slider, but why throw a slider in that spot? There's no reason for you to throw it when you're blowing fastballs by people all fucking game. Yeah. There's no reason for you to throw a slider. So, like, I don't know. I feel like Rodon, he's the Chicago White Sox starting pitcher 5. Like, I feel like when you get to those kind of guys, like, and then especially those type of pitchers, sometimes like Zach Collins is catching for them. He's not their number 1 catcher right now. Andrew Knapp catches for certain games. Like those catchers sometimes in those situations aren't as good as like Grandal or Real Muto at those times. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was about to say like Realmuto probably catches for our two top guys. He doesn't catch for which is mind blows me that Nat, because he's had some good. He must call some good games because Eflin's had some good outings. I mean, he's also had bad outings,
definitely.
But and then I think he catches for like Matt Moore, and then like maybe Knapp catches for Anderson. I don't know how it works out. I really don't. But they might need to get another. You might be fine with Anderson, but Matt Moore, I don't know. They need a lefty. They need a sick lefty. You can count out. Like I thought the Red Sox were going to be poop. I was completely wrong. That team's
they're on fire right now. 8 straight.
I don't
wins.
know. Did they win today?
Let me check if they won today.
I saw Doogie hit a 3-run double in the top of the 8th to tie it, and
So
then
they lost 4-3.
so they ended up losing. So the Twins walked
So
off.
it was 8 straight.
It was 8 straight. They've been hot. I don't even know what arms they got, to be honest. It's like
Purcell's injured for 90 games.
That's what I'm saying. So I was kind of like hoping, like, hey, like they suck. Deadline. He's off Tommy John. He comes back. He's still got a couple years left. We could use a sick lefty, and we go by. But maybe they still want to get rid of him.
Well, the biggest thing is that if at the trade deadline you're a game out of first place or a game out of a wild card spot, like you have to be buyers. You know what I mean? Like you promise guys like Bryce and JT after signing JT, like you're going to make a team and you're going to put the best team on the field to compete. So if you're in that spot, I mean, unless you're 15 games back by the fucking trade deadline, like you got to go be buyers and you need to make this team better, especially if that means another bullpen arm, if that means a 4 or 5 pitcher, or if that means a fucking center fielder. Like it's going to be one of those 3 things, because everywhere else, like McCutcheon's a reserve. I don't love him anymore, but
nobody does right now.
But like
maybe he'll come around.
It's just so overshadowed by center field, though, where if we can get lucky and Mickey Moniak ends up panning out, like I said, if Mickey hits 240 and makes no errors like Hazley and Quinn have been, I'll take it. That's a 10 times better setup than what
for an 8-hole hitter. I'll take it, but I would like to see I would like to see I would like to see anything over 250, really. And
that's what I'm saying. But like,
then maybe there's like room to grow. 240 ain't bad though. But like,
they're hitting a combined .091 right now, Hazley and Quinn. So like,
our pitchers are hitting better than them.
Yeah,
with more RBIs, I think too.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So I will honestly take anything that. I don't know. It's anything's better. I think Moniak's ready, dude. Dude's young. I think he's ready. He was ready in spring training. And I think he's gonna be solid. He's not gonna be an all-star player this year. He's not, but I think he can put numbers up and he can make that center field position usable.
He's really the last hope.
I agree.
I don't know what else they add, but I would love it won't happen because I know he's only like 25, but he's sick. I think he's ace stuff. He's gonna be an ace. I think I would love an ace chalk. Would love like a Zach Gallen.
Yeah, get him from Arizona.
Because they suck, dude. I mean, they don't suck, but they're like
cheeks.
Yeah, they're irrelevant like every year now.
The biggest thing is they're so hesitant on starting pitchers like us because you have guys like Spencer Howard, Mick Abel now.
He was
brutal out of the bullpen. I don't think he's a bullpen arm.
No, he's not, but he was brutal.
He's not a bullpen arm at all.
It was like a 30-plus pitch in it when he came in.
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. Jojo Romero looked real bad. It's really right now the only guy that's come in and even is Jose Alvarado, and even Alvarado had a fucking stupid ass mess up trying to go for a double play.
Connor Brogdon.
Well, Brogdon's been money. Yeah, dude, forget. They just don't use him enough. They're not using him enough at this point.
I don't know how bullpen guys get work because you'll see like one used one night and then another used the next night, and then it's all goofy.
Neris isn't the closer. Neris needs to be your setup guy, your 8th inning guy. And if you can make Brogdon throwing the way he's throwing right now, if you can make him the 9th inning guy, that would be sick.
Yeah, I'd be pretty horny off that.
Or even if the team like the Giants fall off, and the Phillies can go out and snag like Jake McGee.
Why are they 8-4? Like, why? Gabe Kapler was your manager. Hell.
Was it us or was it Gabe Kapler, though?
I mean, we had some pretty shitty players, too, but Gabe definitely was a fucking loose screw.
Hey, well, they weren't bad with him last year either, so.
I know. Him and his fucking coconut oil is doing something out there.
The bamboo sticks. Bringing them bitches out again, I hope, this year. So
Bamboo Brad.
I know, Brad.
That's our best bench piece.
Him and Matt Joyce need to step the fuck up. But moving on from them, there is one. I know you said we didn't really want to talk much about the Flyers today, but they do have the Penguins tonight with the up and coming debut of Wayne Allison, right?
I've been waiting for this for fucking ever, dude. I'm
But
so
before we get
excited.
there, is Elaine Vigneault, that's how you say it, I think,
Yeah, but
on the hot seat after the season?
no.
No?
No. It's 2 years. Came in. I mean, I told a lot of people they were going to be good last year, and a lot of people were like, I don't see it. And I was like, dude, this year is going to be special. I just feel it like we got a good coach finally. It was special.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, everybody's expecting them to take the next step. I think there was a lot of pressure on the team. I think they clearly Chuck Fletcher didn't fill the void with Matt Niskanen. That's his fault. Lane Vigneault has to punch the right pieces, make the right moves, but there's things I think I'm not saying COVID is an excuse because they keep using COVID as an excuse, and it's not fair. It's not. It's every team's dealt with it, maybe not to the degree we had to deal with it and fuck up our schedule even more, but shit happens, dude, in life, and that's what happened. So I'm I don't think he's on the hot seat. He's been to 2 cups. He was with the Canadians. They didn't go to a cup. He was with the Canucks. They went to cup, blew a 3-1 lead, and he went with the Rangers, and they lost to the Kings. He's done some good things. I mean, if it's either you rebuild and you get rid of like your guys like JVR, you get rid of your Giroux, and you get rid of your Voraceks.
Yeah.
You just start a rebuild and you start a complete youth movement, and this team is just real young, and you just hope there's like Kevin Hayes maybe, and you hope like Couturier can like center, and then like you bring up your Frostes and stuff, and maybe you luck out. That's if you really want to go that route. I don't think they're going to go that route. I think they truly believe they can be cup contenders. They did this year. I think next year they'll bounce back. I think maybe it was just a weird down year. It happens sometimes in sports. You see it, but this has been like a reoccurring theme for the last decade since 2010. They made actually since 2012 after the Penguins playoffs when we fucked them up. It's been miss playoffs, make playoffs, miss playoffs, make playoffs every other year for 8 consecutive years now, and it's frustrating because you only have a couple playoff series wins in like the last 8 years. You have like 3 or 4 or something. You need to make a deep run, and we thought we were going to be maybe conference finals bound or at least second round again. And we're not even sniffing the playoffs, so it sucks.
Yeah, it's ass. So then, I don't know. I kind of disagree because I do believe he could be on the hot seat, just because I feel like every time a team is so overhyped like this and they downplay this much, especially in a season like this, I think you're automatically put on a hot seat like that until you're pretty much confirmed that you're staying. You know what I mean? Especially if they're getting ready to, if you're going to dump guys like Giroux, Voracek, Coots, if you're going to do that, that's also a good time to dump a coach as well and completely restart.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's why I think if they do that, then Vigneault probably goes. Because I think the whole reason he took the job was because he said it in his presser. I kind of believe him. He's like, I see what we have here. We have a good balance of youth and core vet players with some good talent, and that's what he had in those other teams. The Rangers probably had more vets, but had a great youth. Kings, they had some youth, but a lot of guys in their prime that were also kind of they had some vets, and not the Kings, the Canucks.
Yeah,
Canucks. That's what I meant. But the Rangers played the King, but whatever. He's had like that mix and that balance, and he made it to the cup, and he's had some good years. And I do agree though, like maybe he could be in the hot seat, but I doubt it. I don't think so. I think you start with other personnel decisions though. Maybe this off season, maybe they run the course the rest of the year. Maybe they're still trying to right the ship. I think there's still how many games were there this season? 56.
Yeah.
We're 42 in. You got 14 left. I don't think they're making playoffs at all. Obviously, they would need you know what I mean?
12-2.
Yeah, they would. And if they did that, that would be scary because they'd probably then end up going on like some crazy fucking magical run to go to the cup.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen. Obviously, the toe tag's already on. They're fucking dead. But I don't think he's gone. I think I mean, they were borderline playoffs for the longest time. And
Yeah.
They were in playoff spot, and it's their own fault. I guess it's just if they fire him, I don't know who they would hire, really. I mean, I don't know what's out there. I guess you can look around, try to find a better coach. But I think, if anything, this offseason, you start with the assistants.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to see young guys get a chance, I think.
Young defenders coming up for sure.
Someone, hopefully Cam York doesn't come up and play at all. Maybe if he does, like, the last 2 games of the season and we're already, like, out of playoffs, just to give him ice time.
Yeah.
See what Wade Allison brings tonight. Hopefully he gets 12 to 15 minutes at least.
I was going to say, tell me a little bit about him.
He's like a big body guy, dude. He's like a Corey Perry. If you know anybody knows what Corey Perry, this kid's like
from the Ducks.
I think he's like 6'2". He's easily like 220 or like 215, like right around there. Skating's all right. He's a big body. Fucking filthy shot. He can pick a corner. So I'm hoping, I would love to see like a debut goal tonight. Like, I don't even care if they win, but I'm probably turning this shit on just to watch it for him because I'm such a big fan of him. He's my favorite prospect by far. Doesn't mean he's the best in our prospect pool. It's just my favorite prospect.
For you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they got the other kid. They definitely ain't bringing him up yet. Our first round pick from this year, the dude was named Tyson Forrester or whatever. Yeah. And he's been fucking sniping pucks too. And he's kind of like the same build as this kid. I think his biggest knock was his skating, though, because skating ability is a huge thing. If you can't skate, you're not going to be able to play in this league.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to skate. So if this kid really works on his skating and he gets his skating down, or maybe the Flyers will finally have their goal scorers, but they probably won't have their playmakers anymore, a.k.a. Giroux, a.k.a. somewhat Voracek, because Voracek has average crazy amounts of assists. He just turns it over a lot.
Yeah.
But we've been lacking a goal scorer for the last decade. So last decade since they got rid of Jeff Carter, really. But he's up tonight. They re-signed Scott Walton, 5-year, $15 million annual average value. That's a good deal, in my opinion. Scotty, your bottom 6 is your most important things. And when it is time to go to the cup or compete for a cup, because you need those minutes or key minutes. Raffle's gone. I mean, I don't care.
He's gone.
I don't care if he win. Don't care if he wins a cup, but I'll root for the Caps. I mean, they're a rival technically, as most Flyers fans wouldn't, but I'll root for Ovi to get one, and if Raffle gets one because of him, that's awesome. And then that eyesore and traffic cone, Eric Gustafson's gone.
Yep.
Waste of a fucking signing and a couple million. See you later, bro. So
Poodles.
I mean, it's been a brutal year. It's been depressing to be a Flyer. It's actually just depressing to be a Philly sports fan in general right now. The only uplifting team is the Sixers.
Yep. So, I mean, we'll see how the rest of the season plays out. We'll see how that unfolds with, because you're really, the way this season ends, if you go 2-12 to end the season, they're going to have to make some decisions, some tough decisions on what they want to do with these veteran players. Yeah. Or if you want to try and hold on to them and then ship them off next season, like teams are doing, like sending Jeff Carter to a team that can compete right now. Since you mentioned his name, he just got traded to I forget.
The Pens are sitting pretty in a playoff spot. So
they're fighting. I mean, if we can kind of play more of like a spoiler now for the rest of the season, I guess, try and just
I hate the Rangers so much. I hate them, but I know they wouldn't win the cup. I'd love to just kick Boston out of playoffs.
Yeah, it would be nice. Can you push the Rangers in there, or?
I mean, if we did technically, depending on what we were doing, if we played spoiler and beat Boston and knocked them out of playoffs, I mean, the Rangers are only 2 points ahead of us with the same amount of games played. So we would probably, if we were consistent, but if it comes to a point where the Rangers are just playing catch up and they're like gaining a game, because they're 4 points behind, we're 6 points behind, then we could probably play spoiler. We can't beat Boston though. I think we're done all our Boston games, so it sucks. Yeah.
So, I mean,
but if we play the Rangers and we let the Rangers beat us, I don't want that to happen, but they just beat us. And whatever.
Moving from there, the NFL draft is officially, I think, a month away.
It says month away, bro.
So
it's this month.
My biggest thing is let us know if you guys next week, if you guys want us to do our fucking mock draft for the first 12 picks. I think that's that's the biggest thing. That let us know if you guys want to do that. There's no Eagles that we want to talk about today. So next week, I think if we can go hard on the Eagles, let us know if you would be interested in that, or if you would
definitely
like to see it first. Maybe just hit those solid picks and then knock it like all first round later out. Who we think's going to fall, who we think's going to get drafted higher than we think. But other than that, as always, I don't think Shane sold out of his shirts yet. So hit him up, get some of those Phillies shirts while they're still hot before the Phillies go under 500. Snag them bitches. The Liberty Bell and the Fanatic shirts, Heart of Philly, run them up. Blake looks like he has one more thing to say. No? So basically on that note, we're trying to keep this shorter for you guys so it's easier to listen to. So run us up, hit them likes and subscriptions, YouTube, every social media podcast, Apple, Spotify, run it up. We appreciate the support, and we can't wait to see you guys next week. Peace.